Today, I want to talk about these 3 simple words that can help change a life, save a life. It certainly helped save my life at a very dark time. And yesterday, I was listening to a podcast and it was brought up, these 3 words. They're so simple, but it reminded me of a time in my life when I desperately needed to hear these 3 words. So I am going to say them to all of you, and that is, I believe in you. I believe in you. Super, I believe in you. Okay, it's 4 words. Actually 4 words. I just can't count today, which is okay because I drove 9 hours yesterday solo with 3 kids, 2 dogs, and an Airstream from northern Indiana to Nashville. And it took a lot of believing in myself to be able to get through this road trip yesterday. I was really nervous that it would be too much. I kind of drove super slow to be extra safe because I had this Airstream and precious cargo, my kids and dogs in the back. And it was a very long day. I literally just got out of bed. I know it's like 12:30 p.m. my time, but one of the highlights of my 9-hour trip yesterday was listening to this podcast. And in it, the guest talked about a time in his life when someone believed in him. And it was a dark time, and he was a very young man with big dreams. And he had a lot of doubters, a lot of people that didn't believe in him. And he remembers this one person in his life saying to him, I believe in you. And then at the end of the podcast, the host was like, I want you to text someone in your life that you believe in, and just text, I believe in you, to that person. And it just reminded me of this memory that I'm about to share with you guys. It's a very profound memory. It's a very emotional memory. It was during a really sad, dark time in my life. But I think as moms, as dads, as parents, as human species, we do not hear those 4 words enough in our life. We don't hear a lot of people, or maybe you do, but for the most part, I don't think a lot of people hear on a regular daily basis, I believe in you. As moms, I say, I'm so proud of you all the time to my kids, but I realize I don't really say, I believe in you to them that often. And it is such a powerful thing to say to someone, whether it's a friend or a family member or a child or a parent. Just being able to say, I believe in you is so, so important. Oh no, your video's cutting out. Jody, I hope that is fixed. Let me know if it's still choppy and cutting out. Hopefully, Janae. Hey, Janae, can you let me know if the video is cutting out on you too? So yesterday I was thinking about this time in my life I keep talking about. It was a very dark time. It was in May of 2014. It was about a month after I lost my stillborn son, Scotland, and I was in a very dark, very desperate, very sad despair. I mean, the despair and sadness were so overwhelming, and I couldn't stop crying. I was crying all the time. If I wasn't crying, I was sleeping or hiding in my bed. And it was a really hard time. I had questioned my faith in God because all these really sad things and hard things kept happening to me. And I believed in a faith that if I'm good, good will happen. And all of a sudden, all this bad stuff was happening to me. So I kind of questioned God, like, hey, I'm being a good person. Why are these bad things happening? And this experience, losing my son, really helped reframe the way I approached my faith in a much healthier, more positive way, more realistic way. Because I read a book called When Bad Things Happen to Good People, and that was also a very life-changing thing. But there was a time when someone said to me, I believe in you, in a time that I did not believe in me. And I felt very broken and very sad and depressed, and I didn't think I'd ever feel joy again. And I remember, even though I was questioning my faith and saying out loud that I didn't think I believed in God, I found myself going to my local church and talking to a deacon and his wife. So I think subconsciously I really always believed all along. It was just a time when I was really angry and I questioned a lot of my faith. And it was around the Kentucky Derby time, because I remember there were the big horse race, and the horse that won had been underdog. He had been injured, maybe it was a she, and definitely not one expected to win. Had a history of injuries, and definitely came out of nowhere and won the Kentucky Derby. And it was this huge news story. I forget the name of the horse, but I'm talking to this deacon, or not really talking, more like just sobbing uncontrollably, talking about losing my son and how hard it was, because it was only about 5 or 6 weeks after losing and delivering my stillborn son. And I was angry and sad, and I was a mess. I was so broken. I felt bad for my husband, Tom, because I'm like, he signed up to marry this girl that doesn't exist anymore. The only thing left is this shell of a person that's very broken and very sad all the time, can barely take care of our 2 kids that we had at the time. It was a really bad time. And, looking back now, I can have a ton of forgiveness and empathy for that version of me. But at the time, it only made me beat myself up more, that I wasn't handling the loss well, and I wasn't taking care of my kids as good as I could be, because all I wanted to do was sleep, because sleeping took me out of reality, and reality was so unbearably sad. So I meet with this deacon and his wife, and their specialty is in grief, and specifically child loss, pregnancy loss. And I was talking to him, crying to him, questioning my faith. Wasn't sure if I believed in God. I was mad at God. I remember him saying, it's okay to be mad at God. He can handle it. It's understandable that you're mad. He kind of validated all the emotions I was feeling. But he said something to me that just rocked my world. And, I remember he started talking about the horse of the Kentucky Derby that had recently won, who had all these injuries, didn't have good odds of winning. And I remember him, I forget the exact words he used, but he compared my odds to this broken down, injured horse and said, on paper, your odds look really hard. I had a miscarriage, a stillborn loss, a child with a medically fragile condition. I had lost my mom, all in like a super short time frame. And I was not handling life really well. And he said, the odds are against you, but if I was a betting man, I would bet on you because I believe in you. And I remember when he said that, I just collapsed into tears, because he was believing in something, in a soul that was so broken, and a spirit that was so beaten down. And he said, I believe in you. And I didn't believe in me. I didn't think anyone believed in me. Why would anyone believe in me when I didn't even believe in me? And it was so powerful. To this day, this man, who I forget his name, I just remember he was the deacon of the church I was at. He changed my life that day. And when I was listening to this podcast yesterday, this guy was talking about losing a brother and then, having this dream and dropping out of high school, and he was in a really bad place and someone believed in him too. And it changed his life, and he forever remembered this moment when he was a teenager. And I am, how many years later? 7 years later, and I still remember this moment of someone believing in me, betting on me, thinking, you can do this, you can overcome this. And I just think those words, I believe in you. I believe in you. It's so simple, and you can say it to anyone. And it's such a powerful thing to say, and you have no idea how much it may or may not impact that person and how badly they might need it in that moment. So just like this podcast, I want to challenge you guys to think about someone in your life, a friend, a family member, a child, your child, a coworker, a parent, whoever it is in your life, maybe a stranger that you see struggling on the street. I challenge you to text that person, email that person, call that person, go up to them in person, write them a card, and say, I believe in you. And I am telling you how powerful that will be received, because I did it yesterday after the podcast. I reached out to 2 friends, and one I called and said, I believe in you, and the other one I texted and I said, I believe in you. And it was out of nowhere, and they didn't know where it was coming from, and they were both so receptive and so grateful and needed to hear it so badly. And I think as moms and dads, at least for me, I think going forward, I'm going to try to have a more mindful intention to tell my children I believe in them, because I tell them I'm proud of them all the time. That's said on a daily basis. But I cannot remember the last time I told my child I believe in you. And how powerful that is. Like, I hear people say I'm proud of you, and it means a lot. I love hearing people say that. I had 2 sisters that texted me after I drove 9 hours with 3 kids and 2 dogs in an Airstream by myself yesterday, white knuckling it, trying to, not get in an accident and get my family home safely, and not fall asleep at the wheel, and stay alert and stay safe. And I got home, and I had texted my sisters and I said, I'm home safe. And they both were like, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. You did it, da, da, da. And of course, that meant so much to me. So I'm not saying don't say I'm proud of you, because I think I'm proud of you is a lovely thing to say as well. But add a couple I believe in yous to your daily, regular dialogue, and see how that impacts the people in your life. Without even having to explain yourself, go into detail, just sitting them down or calling or texting out of the blue to say, I believe in you. Hearing that podcast yesterday, hearing how that changed and impacted this man's life so deeply, and then knowing my own experience with someone when I was going through easily one of the darkest times of my life, saying I believe in you was life-changing. It meant everything to me. Now, mind you, at the time I just sobbed and cried. But as I went through my grief, as I mourned the loss of my stillborn son, and I and I let the grieving process go through, and it took years. It still is, there is forever going to be a void and a pain there, but I will always remember that man and what he said to me, and how he said, if I were a betting man, I would bet on you. I would bet on the horse that didn't have great odds and what had injuries, had broken bones, had been broken down and rebuilt, and won this grand race. My St. Bernard's trying to come in. Duke, I believe in you, Duke. So that's what I want to say to all of you guys today is I challenge you to find someone in your life, to reach out to them, tell them that you believe in them. But also, if you are out there right now and you need these words in your life, if you're going through something or not, and you just need someone to say it, I am going to be that person to tell you, I believe in you. You can do this. I believe in you. I believe in you, because it is such an easy gift you can give someone, and that gift can mean so much to someone else. So now that I've been so reflective after having the craziest day yesterday, coming back from a family camping trip, waking up yesterday morning and packing up my trailer, hitching up my trailer, emptying out the sewage, traveling with a St. Bernard and a black lab and 3 kids with no iPads because they got it taken away, and driving 9 hours back home. I had to believe in myself that I could do it, and I did it. But also, it was such a gift because I was in a car for so long. I got sick of music, so I started listening to podcasts, and I just came across this one episode, and it was so powerful, and it gave me a moment to reflect and on a time that I really needed somebody to believe in me, because I didn't believe in me. And I have this platform called Life of Mom, and I have this amazing community of moms and dads, and I just wanted to share this message with you guys because I think life is really hard. I think motherhood can be impossibly hard. It's the hardest and most rewarding job in the world. So sometimes you need that village of people around you to remind you that they believe in you, and I believe in you, and I wanted to use this community and this platform to remind you guys of this beautiful message that can really impact so many lives. So go about your day. It's Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. I survived a crazy car ride. So I'm feeling somewhat accomplished. My laundry, however, not so accomplished. I left a load of wet clothes in the washer over 5 days. So I just came home to wash a bunch of clothes for camping, and sure enough, they were soaking wet, all kind of like wet and molded out. So that was no fun. But have a blessed day. I hope you guys have a great day, and thanks for letting me get on my little soapbox and have this moment to remind you. I'm gonna have to change the caption of this video because it's I believe in you. It's 4 words, so it's not 3 words. I believe in you. I believe in you. Have a blessed and amazing day.